Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. Great to have you here today on our first Cabral HouseCall of the weekend, where I look forward to answering our community's questions each and every weekend, whether you're writing in or whether you're simply listening for those answers so that you could one day share them with someone in need. I appreciate you. I appreciate the support, of course, of this show. And of course, if you have your own question, you're welcome to ask it every single day just at cabralsupportgroup.com. That's our free Facebook group. Even if you don't like Facebook, even if you don't want to be on Facebook, you can simply use it to ask questions there and participate in the global health community. It's still the easiest place to get. Right now, 11,000 people, all like-minded people, completely for free together to really on this shared mission of simply trying to be better every day. Not perfect, but simply be better every day. So I do invite you to join us over at cabralsupportgroup.com. And I would also say that if you don't mind waiting the 6 weeks that it takes to get your question answered live on these weekend house calls, you can submit it at stephencabral.com/ask Cabral. And of course, this is a completely free service as well. I just ask that if you're able to leave a review on iTunes or any of your other media players or on YouTube, if you haven't already, I would love you to subscribe. And of course, I would love you to leave a review. Certainly helps me to rise up in those rankings and to be able to reach more people. All right. Let's get started. So again, we answer our community's questions here every single weekend if you're new to the show. And they are all things wellness, weight loss, anti-aging, health coaching, everything in between. All right, today's first question is from Lynn. Lynn is asking, if I'm a Vata, should I limit my raw food, for instance, salads, my favorite food, and eat mostly cooked foods? All right, it's a great question. So I'll tell you what we actually did when I was in world-renowned Ayurvedic clinics as an intern. I was studying under many brilliant Ayurvedic doctors, and to say brilliant is an understatement, since I was at some very high-end clinics and I was at some very poor clinics as well, and they were both equally fantastic. So, but at the high-end clinics, they got their pick of every Ayurvedic doctor because every Ayurvedic doctor wanted to work at these beautiful clinics. And so they always picked, no matter what, they picked the top 2 graduating people in each class, and that's who they brought on every year. So I learned from many brilliant people. Here's what we did. If you are a Vata, you're going to eat a little bit more warm foods, cooked foods during the colder winter months. However, if your body is balanced, there's nothing wrong with eating salads during the later spring, summer, and early fall. There really isn't. Now, if you're really balanced and your body's healthy, honestly, you can eat salads and some raw veggies if you want, even as a Vata. You really can. You're just going to add something that's going to balance that airiness, that lightness, that difficult to digest. So what might you have with it? Well, you might add some daily digestive enzymes, or you might simply add some hot ginger tea, which helps to balance Vata. So there are always things that you can do in order to balance your dosha. And again, like every Eastern-based practice does this without them even knowing it. Like if you go to traditional Chinese medicine, of course, knew this. But if you even go over to Thailand or a lot of countries and say you're eating some fish or raw fish, you're always balancing that with some hot chili or some wasabi or something like that, which balances the cold and the dampness of fish with some warm and spice. So all you need to do to stay balanced is to add some of the opposite. And again, this is if you're already balanced to do this. So for example, people ask me all the time, should I do smoothies because I'm a Vata or an ectomorph? Should I do smoothies during the winter because it's cold? I do smoothies all year round because I believe it's the number one thing you can really do for your health because it's micronized. So you take all the good nutrition, brightly colored fruits and veggies, throw them in a blender with some of the daily nutritional support powder. You get everything you need. It's super easy to digest. And if you're a Vata, well, all you need to do is just wait 20 minutes like I do to start drinking your smoothie. And now it's closer to room temperature. But the other thing as well is you can just throw in a thumb of ginger or a little bit of cayenne or a little bit of heat to balance the coldness. So these are all things, again, that you can do. Like there is no one, you need to follow with the most, which is what we did in the clinics when someone's imbalanced. For sure, you need to do that. And that makes sense. But again, when you're healthy and balanced, you get to get away with a little bit more. So hopefully that's helpful. Same with food combining, by the way. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole on food combining right now, but when you're healthy and your digestive system's strong, you can get away with a lot more. That's all. All right. Simon is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I have a question on internal air quality. The floor of my office building is about to be refurbished, including carpets, paint, and furniture. Being a multi-story office building without operable windows, I was already concerned about the indoor air quality. However, this will no doubt make things much worse. Apart from spending a little time spending as little time indoors as possible, is there anything else I can do to minimize the health impacts, such as supplements or practices? Many thanks. Okay. This is really important because if you're ripping up carpets, there's formaldehyde, there can be mold under those carpets. When people are putting in new paint, they're probably not using zero or low VOC, which is those volatile organic compounds that I've talked about. And furniture is just loaded with chemicals and formaldehydes as well. So one thing you can ask is, can you work virtually while all of this work is being done? You're worried about all the chemicals and everything being ripped up and dust in the air and mold in the air, etc. So you can always make that request and you can have that documented. And if they say no, okay, they said no. What you can do though is many of these companies actually have their own small area air filters. So for example, if you go to stevencabral.com/resources, you'll find the air filters that I recommend. I love the Air Doctor and I love the IQ Air. There are other companies, but those are the ones that I like and that I feel very confident in promoting because I use them in my own home and I know that they work. So each one of those companies, actually the IQ Air makes a smaller one for personal space, but the Air Doctor, I know there's a cost to it. There's no doubt about it. But the Air Doctor is going to last just like an IQ Air, 10 years? It's going to last a long time. You just got to change those air filters. So you just bring one over to your desk, literally keep it, let's say 3 to 4 feet away from you just because of normal EMFs. And that will help filter all the micron particles in the air. So that's one of the best things that you can do. And then it depends what you would be exposed to. So of course, there's a mold protocol. But if you don't need to do protocols, you don't need to do protocols. So keep going with your daily foundation protocol, level 2 or level 3. Keep up with your immunity protocol. And then you can certainly do a functional medicine detox every 12 weeks. Hopefully that helps, Simon. Sarah's up next. Dear Dr. Cabral, after my stool test showed bacterial overgrowth, I am on week 3 of the CBO protocol with the citrocidal drops. I'm starting to have heartburn for the first time. I never had this before. My main symptoms before were severe bloating and gas, but not heartburn. Now for the last 2 weeks, I've had this reflux either before a meal or after. I've been following the CBO protocol diet strictly with the enzymes. Can you help me understand why this new symptom has developed? Is it normal for this to happen on the CBO? Is it die-off or is it related to stomach acid? Will it get better after more weeks or do you recommend I do anything specific to address it? Thanks for all your help. Okay, Sarah. So without me kind of doing a full intake with you, it's a bit of a challenge, but I'm going to address as much as I can. So you asked your question on March 10th. So this podcast is being released on April 17th. So about 5 weeks later. So I hope you're doing well. And really the best thing to do, of course, when this pops up is to ask your health coach. So I'm sure you did the lab with Ecolife and that stool test comes with a health coaching call, of course. So I would reach out and I would do a follow-up, of course, with your health coach because they're going to have your whole intake and they know who you are. But I'm happy to help, and I know that this will help someone else in the future. So whenever you complete a new protocol and a new diet plan, you need to figure out, is it the nutritional supplements you're using or the new foods you might be eating? And that's what we need to decide. So what I recommend is I always would recommend keeping a food journal, and you would say to yourself, okay, I have acid reflux before a meal or after it. Well, which meals is it happening? Like, does it ever happen with a smoothie in the morning? And if the answer is no, well, it's probably not the supplements because you take them on an empty stomach and with breakfast, and you have your smoothie at breakfast. Now, if it's happening after a whole food meal, well, that's a little bit more interesting because now it could be new foods that you might be eating. Like, for example, what if you started to include beans, or what if you started to include, I don't know, coconut oil or something? So you have to look at what changed. That's the variable. And I actually talked about this on Monday's podcast. So if you go back and you listen to episode 1893, I talk about how we're always able to help people like yourself because all it is about variables, meaning like everybody can get well and succeed. It's just about learning and understanding the variables. So, and then also it could be the herbs and the supplements. Maybe the herbs and the supplements like an oregano is giving you heartburn. Well, the nice thing is with our CBO protocol, all of the nutritional supplements, obviously built upon science, oregano oil and clove and all these great things, thyme and powder arco, they switch every 4 weeks, which means that you're using a new supplement on purpose. We rotate them every 4 weeks to make sure we get everything that's there. So that's that. That's the good news, is those will rotate out after 4 weeks. So if it was the herb, it's going to be gone for the next month as well. So hopefully that's it. Now, what about, again, I'm releasing my gut rebalancing health results accelerator at stevencabral.com/courses. You can definitely check that out. That's has everything from stomach acid and GERD and H. pylori and parasites and candida. And there's 15 different gut-based issues that we resolve within that. And that's there. But let's just say, having some stomach issues, what you may want to try, especially for some stomach acid issues, would be using low histamines for sure in your diet, but also a product called Healthy Belly. And that's automatically in month 3 of your protocol, but there's nothing wrong with using an extra bottle. And so you can simply take that upon waking, and you can take that before bed as well, or you can even take it before a meal. 20 minutes to 30 minutes before. And what it does, it contains deglycerinated licorice root, DGL, plus marshmallow root, which is fun to say, plus aloe vera. So all of those are great for coating the stomach as well. So hopefully that was helpful. Bob's up next. Bob says, "Hey, Dr. Cabral, I have been listening to your podcast to you for about a year and really enjoy the information that you've been given. I look forward to listening each day and appreciate your passion to help us bring the truth and the best for us and our families. I live in Vietnam currently, and I'm American working as an expat. I want to find someone over here I can work with. I have looked up functional medicine doctors and Ayurvedic doctors and doctors of naturopathy, but I still get a little confused on the difference, which one is best to work with. I don't have any big issues that I'm aware of, and my overall health is okay, but I need to lose a little weight. My goal is to improve my health and live longer and be able to live life to the fullest with plenty of energy and," it says loof. It should be look and feel great. Based on listening to you, would you recommend starting with some tests and agree, but what type of doctor should I be reaching out to and help my goals? All right. So happy to help with it, Bob. I don't actually know if Equalife ships to Vietnam since I'm not in charge of the shipping and logistics over there, but I know that we ship to 30 countries around the world. So let's just see. I'm going to type in Equalife international shipping just into the old Google. And let's see here. Oh, look at that. Well, it pops up. That's fantastic. Let's look for Vietnam. It's there. All right, Bob, you're in luck. So, let me explain first. So, a functional medicine doctor is not specific. It could be a medical doctor, meaning an MD. It could be a naturopathic doctor. It could be a chiropractor. So anyone that learned functional medicine, and functional medicine is a little bit of a, gray area as well, is like, did they actually learn about lab testing or are they just still using blood work? So functional medicine is a difficult one to tease out. You really have to understand the person's background, MD, ND, chiro, DO, etc. Ayurvedic doctors are going to specialize in just Ayurveda, which is great, by the way, nutrition and lifestyle, etc. So, we love Ayurvedic doctors. And then doctors of naturopathy are, I would say, like true functional medicine doctors. They're not just going to do blood work. They're also going to do urine-based tests, saliva-based tests for hormones, etc. So they're all great. I mean, a naturopathic doctor doesn't have knowledge of Ayurvedic medicine unless they studied that. Functional medicine doctors don't have knowledge of naturopathy or Ayurveda unless they studied that. So, Bob, what I recommend is actually working with an integrative health practitioner, because then you get someone who's trained in naturopathy, Ayurveda, TCM, and herbology, bioregulatory medicine, Eastern-based philosophy, functional medicine, lab testing. So what I would do is all of the labs come directly with a consultation. So if you go to equa.life/labs, you can select the labs that you want to learn the most about for your body. And I recommend the big 5 for everyone, no doubt about it. And if you're looking for a less expensive option than the big 5, then try out the starter kit. That's going to give you all your vitamin levels, all your mineral levels, digestion, mitochondria, detox, heavy metals, and so much more. And then that will come with a coaching call. You just do it virtually. You do it over the power of the internet. So that's all. You're going to use our app, which is the EquaLife Health coaching app, and you'll get a review with one of our coaches and a protocol built just for you. And then, of course, we can ship any protocols or anything that you need. So that's what I recommend, Bob. If not, again, you can also go to integrativehealthpractitioner.org, go to the practitioner page, and you can even see if we have someone in Vietnam, which we very well may, because there are somewhere around 3,000 certified integrative health practitioners, although you're going to want to look for a level 2, and the level 2 are the ones trained in functional medicine lab testing. All right, great question, though. Afra is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Listen to you regularly and hear you all the time say there is no pressure to use the EquaLife brands. But if you don't, where should we be looking out or making sure that we purchase something that it's a little bit jumbled? Make sure it has plenty of something else in the brand. Do you have this information relating to this all in one place that I can use as a reference when deciding to purchase, as I live overseas and hard to get in the country? I want to check locally, but ensure it's doing a good job. I do understand that your products are better, and as I make trips to the US, I can try to stock up as well. Oh, yeah, that's fair. Happy to answer this question. I've actually answered it on previous podcasts, but I'm definitely happy to answer it again. So I talk about this inside of the IHP health certificate curriculum. Talk about this in my podcast, is that over at EquaLife, which used to be Equilibrium Nutrition, now it's just a much larger global brand and also based on teaching as well. So it's the whole lifestyle, right? Living the equilibrium lifestyle, achieving equal life. That's what we're all about, creating balance in our lives. So you can go to equi.life. That is my practice now. I put all of my protocols there, all of my labs there, all of my nutritional supplements there. So, but I do that to open source it. So I put all of the labels there. I put all of the protocols. Everything that I do in my practice is there for you. And I tell people all the time, you don't have to purchase there. You absolutely do not have to. What I did, though, is I show you exactly what I use. And then what you can do is you can look at the back for all the different ingredients and you can see if you can match it up. And again, but it comes down to, is the company reputable? Because you just don't want to end up with heavy metals in your products or mold or that there's not the right dosage or whatever it might be. So that's all. So you're just looking for reputable functional medicine-based brands and then the right ingredients, but also the right dosage. Because a lot of companies put ingredients in, like, let's say ubiquinol or let's say CoQ10, but they use like 10 milligrams and you're just not going to get a clinical benefit out of that. It's like CBD. So many people sell CBD, but it's like 5 or 10 milligrams. And again, you're not even going to feel that. There's going to be no ability to fill that. So that's that. And by the way, for those people that don't know, we are finally able to offer CBD-based products again. Pretty amazing. It has to be on a separate website. So the separate website is equilibriumcbd.com. You might remember that name, equilibriumcbd.com, and you can check that out there. So Afra, hopefully that helps. Again, all open source. There's over 150 different labs and protocols and nutritional supplements over at equa.life. Anonymous is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Wrote in earlier this year about having squiggly things in my urine, and you answered it for a male related to the prostate, but I'm actually a 30-year-old female and so curious what these are a reflection of. Given the unusual nature of them, it is difficult to try and research when I don't know what it even is. Can you give any insight as to why I would be getting white squiggly things in my urine that look more structured than just discharge, as they are very clearly liquid squiggles? Thanks. Okay, Anonymous, appreciate you following back up and writing back in. And remember, everyone's always welcome to do that. So you wrote in Anonymous, so of course I don't know if you're a male or female when writing it in. And when someone talks about white squiggly things in the urine, my mind goes right towards prostate-based secretions. But obviously, you shared now that you're a female, so the prostate is not going to be an issue. So for a female, what we're looking at is two main things. We are looking at some type of infection in the kidneys, okay, bladder maybe, even intestinal. So we're looking at a bacterial-based infection, or the second is a yeast-based infection. It is, again, this is not medical advice, so I have to give you my disclaimer. I cannot provide you with medical advice, a diagnosis, a treatment, or a cure, okay? So that's for the conventional medicine land only. What I'd like to share with you, though, is it's typically an infection of some type. So what you want to do is you want to test for, do you have some type of bacterial-based infection? Or do you have some type of yeast-based infection? And you can run a urine test, really simple, with your PCP, with your doctor. I also talked about using your own urine test strips at home, so you can go back and check out that podcast. It's a Friday review on urine dipsticks to test for leukocytes. Again, it's not diagnostic, but you want to definitely check this out. And then I would run the Candida metabolic and vitamins test over at equa.life/labs to look if you have a lot of Candida or yeast overgrowth in the body. So you can check that out. Of course, you're also welcome to run the bacteria and parasite stool test. That would be helpful. So there you are. Hopefully that was helpful. Thank you, everyone, for listening and for your support and for your reviews. Truly appreciate it. Your subscribes as well. Means the world to me. And I'll be back tomorrow on episode 1899 of the Cabral Concept. Have a great weekend. Thanks so much for joining me here today on the Cabral Concept. And before you go, I want to make sure you know that right now, going on over at equa.life, we are actually giving away one of the most popular products we have offered over the past 12 months. And that is one of the best immune boosting products out there. It is our alkalizing vitamin C. The alkalizing vitamin C, which contains buffered magnesium, calcium, and potassium, actually makes it easy on the stomach and the gut, while delivering more than 2 grams of vitamin C per serving. This is absolutely one of the best vitamin C formulations out there. It's easy in the gut, easy to absorb, and also provides you with those alkaline buffering minerals at the same time. You can get your bottle completely free on all orders over $99 right now over at equa.life. That's EQUI.LIFE. I have to say, this is while supplies last. We reserve 500 free bottles for this giveaway, and no doubt about it, they will go fast. Get your free bottle of alkalizing vitamin C over at equa.life, EQUI.LIFE. Enjoy the product and let us know how it went for you.